What's up guys, Bomboy here and welcome to another episode of the Road to Raids. So in this episode, I'm not going to lie, not a lot happens actually, there's lots of grinding. And to start the week off I was feeling a little bit unwell. You might be able to hear in my voice right now that it's still kind of a bit rough. But yeah, so we were on the kind of battle staff preparation grind. It's obviously to get my money back and to get some crafting levels basically. So here we are, we're just running I guess it's not the fastest route to make nats, but honestly I'm not having to use stamina potions, I'm not having to like lose glories every now and then to a PKer whilst I go through the abyss. And yeah, I just kind of prefer this method. I've made the house, I spent all the money and time preparing the house, I might as well use it to the best of, you know, the best I can basically. So yeah, I wasn't having too much of a problem crafting these nature runes actually. It feels a lot longer than it should do because they're not doubling up. I think this would be a lot more fun when it's more like cosmics and I've got that level and we can just double nats the whole way. And I was actually thinking about some of the things that I'm going to have to do in the future, and I will need loads and loads of nats. Even though I've already got 99 mage, I'm going to have to do some alching just to recoup cash. That's always the way. I'm not really making cash unless I'm doing Slayer, and so yeah, like the recouping from skilling that I'm doing is kind of the main thing. So yeah, as you can see here, I've now got just enough nats, and this number that you see here, 6,112, is actually gonna change between now and the next video. I buy one more day's worth of battle staff, so I did have to use a few more nats, but I already had them in the bank, so we can skip 2 or 3 inventories of nature runes. But yeah, we'll just give this a quick little price check to see kind of what we're looking at. And there we go. So 56.1 mil in total basically. Now bearing in mind that all of this was made from scratch, apart from the battle staffs obviously, I bought all of those. But they were, whatever it is, about 4,300 each. And so yeah, there's going to be major profit there from all the time that's invested. Now, somebody suggested a quick raid, and honestly, I was very into it. You know, I was charging air orbs at the time, and this felt like a nice break. And I've left this bit in at the earlier part of Ulm because I died here, and honestly, I don't really know what stacked me out, but it was a bit embarrassing. So he's on range, I've got the right prey on, and I'm just about avoiding the falling rocks. Switches to mage. And what goes wrong? So it's all going quite well. I've got quite a lot of points. And, you know, we're all hopeful, as always, for a little drop. Okay, so now, okay, I'm overloading. Get hit at 14 with range, then 29. Or was that a falling boulder? Oh, yeah. So I just lost it all at once there. Got stacked out madly. Yeah. Oh, so that lost 7,000 points as well. That was not good. A little bit annoyed watching that back. I could have done way better than that, but oh well, what can you do? This was the only raid that I did this week, by the way. You know, obviously when I'm grinding out skills, it's pretty dumb to leave and do a raid, although, you know, raids can be pretty efficient and profitable, and, you know, if you get lucky, that's great. But I've done 11 raids or so on this account now, which means that between this account and my main, I've done 50-something raids, maybe 60, without any drops, and I'm not lying. No drops. I've had torn prayer scrolls, but who cares about that? So yeah, you know, we're having a nice little dry run with raids. I'm not the only one. I know there's hundreds of players that are just not doing so well with raids in terms of their loot. But then there are others that do very well. One day I hope to be one of those ones that does very well. But I think really main priority is actually getting the better gear. That's the main thing that's holding me back, I think. Dragon Warhammer would help a lot, you know, just to help the team really rather than myself. And also a Hasta just to allow for the higher point raids, I think would be really good too. So yeah, there's a lot to work on, you know, but it's nice to be involved in a raid when people are willing to kind of carry you, I suppose. But yeah, so there you go, 11th raid. It took us just shy of 50 minutes. It's not terrible actually. And yeah, no loot, but again, planks and gems, they're pretty useful. Anything that means XP is fantastic, you know, so I can't complain about that at all. So now here, I'm tuning into the end of the orb grind, and you can see me chatting to a PKer here. This was the only time that orb charging was actually any fun. I was playing the devil's advocate so hard here. There was a guy who was charging orbs, and he had a regen bracelet on, he had a fury, and he had an AGS, and he was level 62 combat or something like that. Now he was anti-rushing, but every now and then he would get bored and skull, and I was sitting in AOAA Tube's clan chat, not clan chat, but in his stream, and I mentioned this, and somebody came along, and so this isn't the guy, unfortunately. By the time I was recording and nearly finished with the orbs, the one that came from AOAA Tube CC had given up, and the one with the AGS and all that. This was in World 65, by the way, because that's the safest place to charge orbs, because people don't come here. So if he skulls, the AGS and everything was risked. So this is why I was calling people. It would have just been the best clips. And so when those two had started clashing, so the guy with the AGS and then the guy from AOA Tube stream, they were fighting from time to time. There he is. The guy with the top on. Oh, he nearly gets done there. But yeah, so when I popped to Edgeville Bank, I saw another level like 64 and another level 62 standing there, and I was like, guys, you've got to get to the air orb place. And they were like, you best not be lying. And, you know, they turn up and there's all this loot running around. So it was a fun session. But we finally finished charging the air orbs, and it took me 3 or 4 days. It was a really long grind. On the final day, I had to do about 2.5k. In one session. I just like absolutely went for it because it's incredibly boring and long-winded. But yeah, you can see there I've still got a few cosmic runes left, and I've got all the orbs I need, plus some extras that I got from PVM, but they give lower crafting XP, so I'm not going to use them until later. And we've got the increased number of battle staffs that I told you about, and so this number of battle staffs is actually where I ran out of money. I have about 200k cash, and I've got all these battle staffs, and so that's it. That's all I can buy. And let's just check out, and let's just check out how much that's worth to see how much the value's gone up. So there we go. It's basically gained about 3 mil by actually charging all those orbs. It's not incredible money per hour. And I'm honestly debating never, ever, ever doing this again. I don't know if I'll buy daily battle staffs unless I have some orbs from PVM. It's so long to do this. You know, like, it takes me 2 weeks to do 6,000 of them just because it's that boring and time consuming. It's not really very efficient, especially considering I'm actually really doing it for the crafting. It is my main source of income, but you know, that might have to change basically. And my mage level actually went above level 100 effectively in terms of XP, if you think about the pattern in which it goes up. But here we are, we're just actually attaching the orbs to the battle staves, and this is the first of 2 levels that I'm going to get on the next inventory. So there you go, you can see I've used nearly 3,000, and that should be it. There we go, level 88 crafting, and it's not much benefit to me. I think really the next level I actually see any benefit is level 90, and then I could boost to make the Tormented bracelet if I had another Zenyte. So we'll be working towards that for sure. And you can also see there I've just passed 114 million XP. So yeah, the EXP gains are actually really great. That's the amazing thing about actually attaching the orbs to the battle staves. This is one thing. This is why I do end up keep coming back to it. I've done I think about 24,000 battle staves in this account's lifetime, and every time I think I finish a big bunch, I say I'm never going to do that again, but I always get tempted to come back for some reason. So here we are, skipping ahead again, and I swear to you, what you're about to see I did not plan, I did not calculate, none of that. This is honestly just pure coincidence, but there we go. We're going to pull out the last 12 battle stars and the last number of orbs. I've obviously had a few extra, you know, you've always got to go a little bit over just in case. And yeah, I thought I might have to buy a few more battle staves. It looked close, but as you're about to see, this is obviously about 400k on. Look at that, level 89, and then just check, like, I mean, there's no battle staves left back in my inventory. I can now craft Zenyte rings without boosting, which is actually kind of nice. I do plan to make a second ring, so that I've got one that's recoiling and one that's not at some point. But yeah, that got me 161 total, and look at that perfect number of battle stuffs. I didn't plan it. They were from monster drops, they were from the dailies. Like, I just ran out of money, and that was how many battle staffs I had, and it perfectly hit level 89 somehow. It was just, I was absolutely mind boggled when I saw that. I just couldn't believe it, you know. I really thought I was going to have to go and buy just a few more. But there we go. So there's 6,172 battle staffs crafted all at once, and I have all the runes to high alch them all at once. So that's going to be a lot of agility alching, and I am going to do it as agility alching. I do want higher agility. You know, it always kind of improves how quickly your run energy restores. But also, there is an achievement diary that requires slightly higher agility than I currently have. So why not, eh? You know, I'm going to spend ages trying to alch these for the money again. So it's going to take me some time. And I might as well get the amulets for the future as well, because stamp pots get used up really fast. You know, you make like 800, and yeah, they last a few months, kind of thing. But those few months go surprisingly quickly. So yeah, here we are. We're just off to Relica so that I can do my agility alching. I've got to zoom out a bit. And yeah, so if you remember from last video, I was doing this because I wanted, well, firstly because I was running out of cash altogether. But I wanted to get my smithing up, and so I need to get that 89 smithing, and I intend to get to 85. So yeah, I basically just want to buy 36,000 gold ore, which is going to be very expensive. And also, I'm not sure yet whether to half buy the shop out at the blast furnace, because he stocks about 100 max, and it gets very expensive if you buy all 100. So I don't know if I'm going to buy 50 per world or just buy all 100 per world and take the hit, and it will be a heavy hit. You know, it'll be like 36 mil gone, if not a bit more, I think, if I do that. But I'm almost thinking it's worth it for just time and total level, and you know, the crafting XP I will get out of those gold bars. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make braces out of those, which is 25k XP or 27k XP per 1,000 gold bars I do. So that would be a lot of crafting XP for 36,000 of those. So yeah, it's a pretty big thing that I've been planning here, and it's going to take some time, and it does mean that there's not a huge amount of content in these videos. So before I actually go and buy the gold ore, I think I will be doing my Cerb task that I've got currently, and then we'll see how that goes, and then maybe I'll start buying the gold ore. But anyway, that's it for this week, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not your typical content. You know, there's not a huge amount going on in this video, but it has been a long week of grinding. And as ever, I will be running at that 2k total. But yeah, have a good one. Take it easy, and I'll see you on RuneScape. Peace.